Brian, it's been a week now since the season ended. Looking back at that playoff series, 4-0 tells a pretty brutal story. What do you think were the reasons behind that score?
Yeah, I mean they were a better team than us, 5-on-5 and special teams. They got good goaltending, and we got good goaltending as well. But they were just better in all areas of the game, and it's something that you have to give them some credit. Obviously, we didn't play the way we wanted, but they were extremely effective, 5-on-5, special teams, and they got great goaltending. And their top players were better than our top players, so it's hard to win a playoff series, especially when you're playing 4 games in their building when you have all those things going against you.
This was a totally different season compared to anything that's happened before. What kind of a part did those circumstances play into the way it panned out in the end?
Yeah, I think a lot of guys were rusty. I mean, it's not an excuse. It's just the fact that a lot of guys didn't have a lot of opportunity to practice. When you play too many games consecutively in back-to-back months, I think that takes a toll on a lot of guys injury-wise. So I think you might have seen some of that in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, it's just adversity, and we have to find a way to be more effective in the playoffs. And it's definitely a learning opportunity for everyone, from players, coaches, management. There needs to be accountability.
Everybody has said that this is one of the best organizations in Europe. Do the players maybe get too comfortable here when thinking about that you really need to push your limits and be accountable, like you said? Is there some reason behind that?
Yeah, I mean, you could look at any professional organization in terms of contract length, and I think we're very fair here in terms of we're not giving guys undeserved contracts. I mean, the NHL, you have 7-year, 8-year contracts. I think you would see it more there, some complacency. I think if anything, there's a lot of pressure for the Finnish-born players when they come here. Might be a little bit harder to perform just because there is a lot of pressure and the media is tough. But at the end of the day, it is a privilege playing for Jokerit, even as a foreigner, obviously. So if there is a fault of some of the guys, it's maybe they care too much, which puts an unnecessary burden on them. But that's something we have to figure out. We have to, the accountability thing, it's just, I would be honest with you and tell you if someone or people didn't care, or just maybe they just wanted to get back home, didn't feel like playing in Russia for a couple more weeks or a couple more months, but that wasn't the case, and it's a tough league to win in. And at the end of the day, you got to be really, really good to advance to the second round, third round finals, especially in the West.
That's a good point, because I totally agree. The knowledge about the KHL in Finland, people follow Jokerit, they necessarily don't follow the KHL that much. They don't know about the other teams that much, but you can tell firsthand that every game, and especially in the playoffs, every game is, you need to have 100% and be right up there to win a game.
Yeah, it's the line's so fine. If any part of your game is off, it's really, really tough to win. And you see it in the regular season as well, but especially in the postseason. And sometimes it takes a while to learn how to play against the Russian teams and how to have success in the playoffs, because the game is a bit different, but we have to make some adjustments in the way we play, and that's something I think we learned this year compared to years in the past where maybe we just didn't have a good enough team, so you could use that as an excuse. But this year I thought the management did a really good job of putting together a team with the resources they had. And granted, they're going against bigger budgets against the Russian teams, but at the same time, we did have a good enough team to have success in the playoffs, so we can't use that as an excuse anymore. So we have to look at other areas to improve and other areas where we need to make adjustments to be more effective in the playoffs.
Does something come to your mind right off the bat if you think about the effectiveness?
Yeah, I think sometimes the physicality. Sometimes we think that we need to be really, really, really physical in the playoffs, and sometimes that takes a lot of energy out of your guys, and you're hitting a guy but not taking the puck away sometimes. And I think in playoffs, you definitely need to capitalize on momentums and be smart about it. And definitely be tough to play against, but the Russian players are all pretty strong physically. Their teams are always in pretty good shape, so I don't think that's the most effective way to play against them. And we'll find a way, hopefully next year, to be more effective in the playoffs. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of hard work this summer.
You've been here for 5 years now. You're a huge part of the organization. Can you feel the frustration among the fans, especially after this kind of year where they can't be in the stands to support the team?
Yeah, it sucks. I don't know how many games they could come to, but we felt it too. Obviously, it's tough for the fans, but not having them support us definitely took energy out of us. You look at our home record after there were no fans allowed in the stands. So I think if you're ever going to run that case study of are fans important, or is there any tangible effect of having fans in the stands, we proved that there is this year. So hopefully next year will be normal. But yeah, going back to this year, that's an unfortunate situation, and seeing us not have a whole lot of playoff success definitely has to be frustrating. And I could say it's a slow process of learning how to win in playoffs. But I think with the salary cap, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to figure out a way to be more effective in playoffs, and you can't just keep saying that. You can't just do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So I'm looking forward to the changes that we're going to make next year, whatever they may be. I'll leave it up to the coaching staff, but something needs to change.